Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Jocelyn Lovely. So good to see you today. This reading today is for Pisces, the last reading for the week. So I'm so grateful. Just excited to share a reading with you guys today in this energy. There's a lot of up and downs, right? With the energy lately, especially for my Pisces. I think it's like you've been struggling with finding emotional balance, right? So hopefully this reading will resonate. If you like it, like, share, and subscribe. If you want any personal readings, you can email me, and if you want to donate, you can click on the link below. But yeah, let's get started. So with your energy, sensing a lot of emotional instability, and I mean this in the kindest way, right? And it's like what I sense, right? With this energy, I'm feeling like a lot of irritability coming up. Like a lot of parts of yourself are like maybe not just irritability, but like frustration is coming up. I can sense the energy. I sense the energy of fear and maybe being exposed, which is bringing a whole bunch of fear, resentment, all these energies I can feel coming up. But I think mostly you're feeling that because the first card that came out was the Tower, right? You've had something hit you in the 3D, right? This happened in the physical sense. This Tower came in and it just destroyed everything you had, everything you were working for, everything you were building off of. You thought you were in the clear, and then this Tower came out of nowhere, and it started just making you so uncomfortable. Mostly because you were trying to resist it. You know, sometimes that happens. There's not one person that I don't know that when the Tower comes, they don't try to resist and run or deny or whatever, right? We all have our coping mechanisms that come up when the Tower comes in. So this one was a hard one because it literally not only destroyed everything in your physical life, but it was so as to reach you within, right? Because after this teardown, you had to reflect on like what went wrong, why did this happen? Well, this is the time you're actually looking into it and realizing that it has to do with maybe the foundation that you're lacking with inside, right? Ultimately, right, you're reflecting on what's lacking, like what do you need for this time around when you start building, that there's more stability in place, right? That's what you're hoping for. And so that's why you have to go within and reflect on what you did wrong, what you could have faced within that time, what could have been prevented, even if nothing could have been prevented. What about this unstable foundation do you keep holding within or reflecting within that's causing this, right? Because the Tower is going to keep happening, right, if there is no change, right? This outer experience came in so that you can change from within. So whatever was highlighted here was very painful, very uncomfortable, very irritable, you were pissed off. I can sense it. Very hurt. Ultimately, it's a struggle, right? Because now that you have to reflect within, here's the Chariot, right? Is you trying to move forward. But in order for you to do that, it's again acknowledging what went wrong in your foundation, and it's maybe you're trying to approach the situation with a little more love and compassion, right? It's like you trying to listen or coincide with all areas and parts of yourself, right? You see those two horses trying to be one, like, right? You and your inner child, maybe your adult self. Maybe there's this issue, right? For example, you were spending too much time working, and kind of living in the mundane. So maybe there was never any time for your inner child to feel like it wanted to play, right? That could be what the imbalance was in your foundation. Or the opposite, maybe your inner child was having too much time right, to play. And then it just felt like maybe there were other things that were not able to happen to keep you moving forward. So again, if one area wasn't being acknowledged here, then it's hard for you to move forward, right? But this is you acknowledging that these two parts of self needed to coincide or coexist within each other in order for you to have a more stable, steady foundation, right? But this Tower has you at the 10 of Wands, right? Like you've worked so hard to get here, and all this introspection, is having you just not only terrified and anxious, right? But like it has you realizing that there is more about yourself that you needed to discover. There were parts of yourself that needed to be listened to in order for you to complete this this Tower, right? To complete, let the change come in and take over. And so this was you, right? Struggling, almost done, literally done, but struggling to the very end, right? Carrying a lot of your old ways of being, maybe trying to fight the Tower the whole time, like trying to resist it, trying to avoid having to do introspection. Because, I mean, at this point, you were maybe so afraid of it that you were having sleepless nights, right? This is the Nine of Swords. You were having too much anxiety about everything that happened. You were having sleepless nights. You weren't able to even like calm yourself down and just kind of look at everything from a higher perspective. It was not possible because you were still in resistance, right? And so higher powers, like, you know, have patience with yourself, right? This balancing of right, because again, she's balancing two sides, right? Of emotional balance, right? She's asking, or Source is asking for patience for yourself, and just understanding that surrendering in Source's timing is everything, right? Like this Tower needed to happen so that you can learn valuable lessons about yourself, right? Like how can you move forward and be happy, right? A happier version of you without looking within and finding what the answer is for yourself, right? But in perfect timing, right? Ultimately, you want peace of mind, right? And they want peace of mind for you too. And so then we go with the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups, right? This to me, and it's all red, right? Followed by the Five of Wands, right? This is all one energy. This could be like your heart and your mind, right? Fighting each other for dominance, right? This could also have been the reason why your foundation like got destroyed, because you may have been a person that was just using your mind too much and you weren't letting yourself feel. So maybe it could have been that you were feeling dead inside, right? Or maybe you were just wearing your heart on your sleeve and you were just giving too much and over giving and not being rational about what your needs were, right? And so maybe one part of yourself was more angry than the other, right? And again, it's just you just realizing what parts of self need to be acknowledged so you can coexist with each other, right? And this is why the Lover card comes out, right? It's learning to balance both aspects of self, the light, the dark, the adult with the inner child, the mundane with the excitable, right? Like it's just the heart and the mind, everything, just being able to accept all of those parts, acknowledge those parts, and bring them with you, right? And because you have, right, or actually are in the process of, right, excuse me, the World comes out next, right? It's like this is it. This is why the ending had to occur. This is why the ending is there, right? This is what you needed to learn within this stage of your life, right? In order for you to have a more successful new beginning, right? This is what you needed to learn. And again, you know, when the Tower came, right, you were exposed. a part of you, part of your shadows were exposed. Maybe a part of you realized that your shadows weren't happy. Maybe a part of you was miserable this whole time because this part of you of self wasn't acknowledged, accepted. It was overworked, right? Sometimes your shadows can hate you if you don't acknowledge them, right? Because they're the ones doing all the work. They're the ones protecting you. They're the ones that have to tell you, no, I don't like this person. Keep me away from this person. This person's taking advantage of us. This is like your part of you that was irritable and angry and unhappy, miserable. This part of you was acknowledged, right? You acknowledge that this part exists. Maybe you've been hiding this fact, this part of yourself for a while, in denial maybe about it. I don't know. Only you know, right? Maybe not wanting to see it, but it got exposed. And you go from being irritable and angry and, hurt and defensive, right? But not in a bad way, kind of like in needing to be secure. Because this is what happens. This is what happens when you feel not only insecure, but lack of security in itself, right? It puts you in this state of mind where you're not willing to cooperate, you're not willing to listen, you're not willing to do anything if you do not feel safe, right? So this is parts of you that it's like you're giving a lot of love and compassion, right? By shedding light into this, you're accepting yourself in a compassionate, loving way, right? And now all of a sudden, you're not so angry anymore, right? These parts of self, can transform, they can change, right? Because that's what the Tower does. It brings in death. A part of you that was not being acknowledged, like the way you were living, you can't keep living like that in this new stage, right? You can't, because then you become this. You become resentful, you become angry, you become, when you're not acknowledged, right? You become a person that's going to fight yourself at every instance because you're not in sync with all parts of yourself, right? So then you go from being this person, right, to accepting yourself with love and grace, and all this beautiful, loving, creative energy comes in and takes over. And all of a sudden, it's like this energy comes in. And with that healing, right, this energy comes in, right? You go from the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands, right? But look at again. Look at these horses, right? It's like earlier from the Chariot, right? Like two parts of self coexisting. It's like you finally gave yourself the permission to bring all parts of yourself, and that's why you can move forward with a stable foundation, right? It's two in one, right? Becoming one. And now, again, because you've done that, you're doing that, right? You're healing. A new opportunity can come into your life. A new opportunity, abundant opportunity that's going to have you feeling even more fulfilled because you did the work. You're not leaving any part of yourself behind. And now you are going to be at the 10 of Pentacles. You can be, because you listen to yourself and you accept yourself and you love yourself at a deeper level, right? And then this is you celebrating that. You get to celebrate these victories, these small victories that in the large scale, eventually, you may not realize it now, but in 3-6 months, you're going to realize that this Tower needed to happen in order for you to claim, collect all parts of yourself. If this Tower wouldn't have happened, right? If this thing wouldn't have taken over your life, you never would have had time to do introspection here and heal. And that's your justice, right? We're in the month of Libra soon coming in. This is like all about justice and being able to feel that, heal, right? Justice is healing all parts of yourself that were sad, were hurt, were miserable, were feeling left out. Maybe you were the one that made yourself feel left out in the cold. Maybe you were around people that made you feel like that way because they were a reflection of you, right? Whatever your irritabilities were, whatever your pain was, whatever your shadows were trying to tell you, you are finally paying attention. So congratulations, Pisces. That is what I have here for you today. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, okay? Have a good one. Bye.